Solent University. You're listening to Solent Sports News.
Good afternoon, it is 3 o'clock. I'm James Mann and these are your Solent Sports News headlines. The Premier League is back. After the last international break of the season, games resume tonight as Arsenal take on Fulham at the Emirates, Wolves host West Ham and Champions League chasers Nottingham Forest face Manchester United. The Premier League's return means Southampton's nightmare continues. We're now going to go live to sports journalist Pat Fitzgerald, who is live at St Mary's Stadium. Pat, what's the latest with Zurich and the struggling Saints?
Thank you, James. It's a beautiful day here in Southampton. I'm outside St Mary's where the sun is gleaming off the top of the stadium, right in my eyes actually. Despite the lovely weather, the mood is all doom and gloom as the Saints are set to play after a long wait to return to action. They will take to the field for the first time in 18 days, where they host FA Cup semi-finalist Crystal Palace at St Mary's tomorrow night. In wake of potential relegation as early as next week, I spoke to senior Southampton reporter for the Daily Echo, Alfie House, as well as some local fans about the situation at the club and whether they believe Southampton will get above or below the dreaded record of 11 points, the lowest total ever set by Derby in 2008. Manager Ivan Juric also gave his say on the future at the club.
I think what it does mean is that he probably won't stay next season. I think that's pretty sure that he won't be here next season. I don't think the club will make a decision on that right now, and whether they'll sack him right now, because there's no point. It's going to be an expensive venture. Wait and see what happens in the next few games. But they have still got 11 points to get to. If they don't get past that in the next few, the pressure will rise on him and he could go. But he won't be here next season, I'm pretty sure of that.
So I reckon there is a chance they could get the lowest score possible, but they have to be very, very rough if they actually can't win or at least tie in any of the 9 games they have left to play this season. So good luck to them, but if they do somehow get the lowest, then that is just unfortunate.
Oh no, they'll get higher than that, definitely. Yeah, they must pick up a few points here and there.
I'd go higher as well, to be fair. I'd think 2 points in, 9 games, surely. Got to think so.
It would be nice, but I can't see it happening.
That we will go down, but with more fight, with more dignity, with more everything.
Thank you very much, Pat, and I hope your eyes are okay. Speaking of doom and gloom, Manchester City's season has gone from bad to worse. Star striker Erling Haaland has picked up an injury at the weekend against Bournemouth. Pep Guardiola revealed that the striker will be out for 5 to 7 weeks.
Sometimes there are years that this kind of things happen all season, so I would say that could not be differently at the end of the season. So yeah, but all the injuries that we had this season, so sorry for them and for Erling as well. So and could recover speedy as quick as possible and come back.
I'm here with Premier League correspondent Michael Adejobi. Michael, how do you think Man City will cope without Haaland?
Well, James, City will be relying on their key attackers such as Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva to step up and try and bring more goals to the side, with both of them only having 4 league goals combined this season. The main man we should be watching out for to step in is Omar Marmoush. I've been really impressed with him with goals in his last 2 matches and obviously that hat-trick against Newcastle a couple weeks ago. Potentially, another option could be Foden in the false 9 role. We've seen him play there before in the 23-24 season. So there are options for Pep Guardiola. He just needs to pick the right one for City to secure their place in the top 4 to stay in the Champions League next season.
Thank you very much, Michael. Starting next year, the PDC competitions will be seeing significant changes, including expansion, with 128 places available compared to 96 in the 2024-25 event. Solent correspondent Josh Cole covered these changes and the positives and negatives they will have on darts.
The PDC has announced an increase to prize money and the pool of players who can play for that money at a professional level in darts. Over 25 million will be on offer next year, a £7 million increase from 2025. The biggest change now sees the World Championship winner earn £1 million, double what Luke Littler would have earned after winning in January. So, is it fair? Well, I asked local pub player and darts fan Martin Godwin for his thoughts on the change.
I think it's fair. They put a lot of time and effort in to the sport. There's a lot of stress, a lot of pressure on stage with so many people behind, the noise, then blocking that out. 6 hours a day on a dartboard for years to get to the point where they're good enough to play on the PDC. I think that's fair.
And what would you do with £1 million? Well, I took Southampton to find out what the locals would do if they had this money.
My mum and dad's mortgage and then go on a really nice holiday, I reckon.
Nothing, I'll take care of my family and I'll do the help for who are in need for the money, and I'll do a charity for the poor people, and I'll do my lifestyle more better than what I'm living.
I'll probably keep it. Charity, yep.
Probably I'd invest all my money into stocks and shares and investments.
Probably save it until I think of something good to buy with it, because I wouldn't want to waste it. But
buy my dream sailing boat and sail around the sea.
How will this affect the sport? Well, the PDC say this is a historic change to darts, something that can increase the sport's stature amongst people and bring record attendances and numbers to all events. I spoke to the head of Solent University's darts team, Max Parson-Williams, and got his thoughts on this groundbreaking change.
With how the sport's grown, it was only a matter of time before the World Championship reached $1 million. I didn't expect it to have a £500,000 growth that quickly. Positives and negatives, if you look deeply into it and you look at the challenge tours and the youth development tours, they've had a good increase, which is definitely a positive. But with the Euro tours and the Pro tours, the way they're seeded based on the top 16 having to play less games, meaning in theory it's easier for them to win.
Josh Cole, Solent Sports News.
Thank you, Josh. Sticking with darts, Gerwyn Price won the 9th Players' Championship of 2025, beating Ian White 8-4 in the final. The Welshman took a 3-1 lead after a 140 checkout and kept his composure for the remainder of the match. In athletics, a UK runner has rejected competing for Great Britain after he was asked to pay money to take part. Ben Connor was told to pay over £1,000 to run for Team GB. In a statement on his social media, he said he couldn't believe how he had been treated. Solent correspondent Ben Breeze explored this situation further.
Imagine a scenario where you're an athlete representing your country, but you've been asked to pay in order to compete. What would you do? Team GB athlete Ben Connor has had to pay over £1,000 to cover his travel, accommodation, kit and food before his half marathon this April in Belgium. Jackie Newton shares her thoughts on this bizarre situation.
I'm one of the team staff for British Athletics. I think it's really hard for the athletes. They are representing their country. In the past, the history has been that all of it would be funded, the whole trip would be funded.
But is this situation really that bad? The athletes may have become too familiar with the luxury of being paid to compete.
Because we've always had it so good, now it's really hard for the athlete. But I have to say, it is hard for them. They train really hard. Athletics is probably the hardest sport to make teams in because every country pretty much competes in athletics. So, there are other sports where not every country competes, or it depends on how wealthy you are, whether or not you compete in it. But in athletics, it's open to all. So it is highly, highly competitive.
Hi, my name is Kevin Seward. I'm a two-time Olympian. I competed in Rio Olympics in 2016 and Tokyo Olympics in 2021.
What does it mean for athletes to get selected, and should it rule them out due to not being able to afford it?
Selection is an honour, and personal finances should not rule athletes out of accepting an offer to compete at a major championships.
What does this mean for the next running generation?
A policy like GB's for Euros could mean that talent goes missing in our sport. And athletes who would potentially have had a breakthrough at a championships don't get that opportunity if they have to fund their own way.
But Jackie thinks she knows just the solution in order to stop athletes from having to pay to compete.
We really do need to start attracting sponsorship. That's the answer to this.
I asked the people of Southampton City if they would be happy to pay £1,000 in order to compete for Team GB.
No, I'm Irish.
Yeah, wow.
No, I wouldn't. No, I'd be happy to pay £1,000, but I wouldn't enter because I don't think I'm fit enough. 100% yes.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely.
5? No, I don't do sports, so no. No.
Depending on the level of the competition, I guess. Yeah, I would say so. I would say the same. If I had the chance to place well, then probably, yeah.
Ben Breeze, Solent Sports News.
Well, funding at Solent does seem to be available. Students at the university have been given grants of up to £5,000. Ed Groves has the story.
Becoming a professional athlete or competing at the Olympics is the dream for a few of Southampton Solent's university students. The Southampton Solent Sports Excellence programme helps athletes in their early career to balance their studies with competitive sport. The programme contains 17 athletes, including brother of Team GB marathon runner Mohammed, who was previously once a part of the programme.
Honestly, for me, it's a dream come true to finish fourth behind Ganisa and Emir and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm so happy, over the moon too.
Another one of Solent's athletes on the programme has competed at the highest possible level in his respective sport in Germany.
My name is Tom Mutra. I'm playing American football and I've played in Germany for the past 6 or 7 years.
Oh, wow.
And I've been competing like in the GFL, the German football league, like the Bundesliga in soccer terms. So yeah.
As sports journalist Ethan Cook found out on the last news day, getting hit in American football hurts a lot and can often cause injuries. However, Solent Sports Excellence programme offers up to $16,000 in support systems for its young athletes for everything to help them succeed on and off the pitch.
I think the main thing is like getting treatment for like injuries and stuff, and after games, like when you feel like got a lot of hits and everything for tackles, so it kind of helps me recover. And recently I had an injury, so they helped me with like training and strengthening it again, and so it's great.
There are 7 female footballers a part of the SEP programme, one of these being former Bournemouth women's footballer, now of Moneyfield FC.
Hi, my name's Olivia. I'm a footballer for Moneyfield FC Women.
Olivia Venditto this time. Venditto will take the throw.
And then I'm studying sport and exercise psychology at Solent University.
It's not just injuries that the programme covers for. Solent has everything you need to become a professional athlete in the future.
So we've got nutrition support, psychology, S&C and therapy support as well. And yeah, we kind of have access to all those areas to help us, obviously on the pitch. And then yeah, kind of helps us also managing our uni load as well.
And this is exactly why Solent Sports University has been recognised in the top third of the UK. Ed Groves, Solent Sports News.
Thank you, Ed. County Championships start this Friday and Hampshire have their first game at home under their new coach. We go over to cricket correspondent Huzaifa Yousafzai. Huzaifa, how are Hampshire shaping up?
Yeah, great news here for Hampshire. They obviously are training under the South Coast sunshine here at the Utilita Bowl on the nursery ground, as you'll be able to hear behind me. The men's team are training now. The women trained earlier in the morning. The men are going well. Dom Kelly's having a really long bowl. Liam Dawson had a really long bat. But yeah, there has been captaincy changes at both the men, or leadership changes at both the men and women's level here at Hampshire. As for the men, they're without their former captain James Vince, who has rejected a contract. So their skipper Ben Brown was in action earlier. And as for the women, it has just been announced, breaking recently, that their long-term successful coach, Charlotte Edwards, who was so successful with firstly the Southern Vipers, winning many trophies across many years, and secondly, exceptionally successful overseas as well for the Mumbai Indians and also in Australia. So they'll be without her, but we'll have to see how they go in a bit.
Thank you very much, Huzaifa. Solent Sports have announced a weeks-long sport festival that will take place at the end of April and early May. The event will replace varsity, with Bournemouth pulling out earlier this year. The Sport or Nothing team spoke to members of the Solent Sport team about the recent announcement and what the event will offer. The podcast is now available on Spotify. That's all from us for today. Remember, you can keep up to date 24 hours a day on our website, which is solentsportsnews.com.